"Oh, we don't sell your data, we just profit immensely off your online behavior while tracking the intimate details of how you use the internet, TV, and phone services. See? Totally different." We should be concerned when apps and services track sensitive information, but that conversation is doubly important when examining the companies that provide us access to the World Wide Web. A new government report provides some insight on what kind of tracking is taking place, and it's a lot. Let's discuss broadband snooping. Even though your ISP is likely watching you watch this, you're still going to want to keep up with all the work being done on reviews.org. Feed those algorithms the good information by hitting all those subscribe options down below. We've had a few conversations on this channel about broadband issues and regulatory concerns. There's a clear consumer trend happening right now. Ire over social media and its effects on public discourse. Concerns over individual services tracking our use. Well, a new report from the FTC sheds some light on what information is being tracked by ISPs, and it's not a great look. As government reports go, 74 pages isn't too tough of a read, and there are numerous citations linked to help explain some of the testing and the conclusions. Plus, the intro is an absolute banger of a summary on the history of broadband classification and the roller coaster ride of regulating the internet as an information service, then a telecommunication service, and back to an information service. Last time on Dragon Ball FTC. It's all the drama you would expect of a political game of hot potato, but like, people's lives are radically affected by this policy. Go team! The FTC took a look at the largest providers covering roughly 80% of the population, but admit that there is a blind spot in the study where numerous smaller providers and co-ops can't directly be accounted for in this style report. Still, we've got solid data to contribute to conversations we've been having since the beginning of consumer-facing broadband. And it's concerning. An ISP is often a part of a larger telecommunications corporation. So one aspect of gathering granular consumer data is incorporating that data into other products and services offered by the larger corporation, where your personal file can be sorted and categorized based on how you use the internet. That company will better understand how to package and sell services to you. And while a lot of browser-based activity is increasingly encrypted, the ISP can still glean a significant amount of insight on your usage just by watching what sites you go to, even if it can't directly see the content on your browser. Combine that with other information from services like TV, phone, home security, location data, down to the individual devices you use to connect, etc., etc. One company can be intimately familiar with your behavior. That might not be as concerning if that data is buttoned up and kept safe under one corporate umbrella, but that's often not the case. First, we shouldn't be too surprised that only a tiny fraction of subscribers ever read through the terms of service to try and decipher what their privacy rights are. And the FTC found that for the few who do look, they're often met with phenomenally confusing options for enforcing their privacy and do not track options. Worse, in a handful of cases, it seems clicking do not track might not really mean much in protecting user privacy. The chain of custody for your data also obfuscates who is profiting. I'm grossly oversimplifying here, but one potential example, an ISP can claim they don't sell your data, but they will make your data available to other divisions of their larger parent company, which then packages data for another operation, which can then sell that data to a third-party data broker. In the most hilariously strict legal interpretation of that chain, the ISP did not sell your data. No harm, no foul. Technically correct is the best kind of correct. The FTC's report draws conclusions, but the FTC isn't a commission that attempts to set policy in the same way as the FCC. So there's a summation of the potential harms, but not many suggestions on how to correct those issues. The findings from our report show that many of the ISPs in our study amass large pools of sensitive data and that their uses of such data could lead to significant harms. This further demonstrates the importance of restricting the collection and uses of data rather than allowing ISPs to dictate how consumers' information is used by obscuring how they will use their information. Unfortunately, these data practices and abuses mirror problems across other industries, including, significantly, edge providers. Oh, I am so sorry. I totally should have said spoilers. I do think the report is worth a quick scan, and we have the PDF linked directly in the description below. While the Commission's conclusion reads pretty straightforward, individual commissioners at the FTC have written more scathing indictments of these practices. Commissioner Rebecca Kelly Slaughter, which is just an awesome last name, points to the previous administration's weakening of data privacy regulations, the reclassifying of the internet as an information service, and the repealing of net neutrality as creating the perfect conditions for a race to the bottom from all the ISPs that engage in these practices. With few protections in place, it's just too lucrative not to do this kind of stuff. ISPs collect far more information on their customers than is necessary to provide them the service they pay for. This report demonstrates a prevalence of unavoidable and unfair behavior across the internet economy. While it certainly supports better oversight of ISPs by the FCC through a revived net neutrality regime, I think it also shows the value of clear rules on data abuses, including limits on collection and use to protect people's rights. In a political climate where politicians are scoring easy points going after companies like Facebook and Amazon, we now need to see which elected officials have the fortitude to start examining the practices of telecoms that contribute enormous amounts of money to political campaigns. So this should be fun. Originally, I started writing the script as a guide on how to better protect your data, secure your privacy, but the different flavors of data tracking through each ISP made that a little too difficult to turn that idea into one video. If you'd like some specific shorter videos, maybe some explainers on things like encryption, VPNs, DNS settings, and other best practices, drop us some comments down below. And especially if you have suggestions on how someone might better secure their online behavior. We can kick off that chat here, and then we can get some articles and videos rolling on our site. Something tells me this is a regulatory issue which will define the next generation of internet services. So keep an eye out on this channel and the full reviews.org site. In addition to some of the serious ISP news we cover, we also have a lot of fun stuff coming your way too. Gadget reviews, contests, live streams. You're not gonna wanna miss it. As always, thanks so much for watching, sharing, and subscribing. For reviews.org, I'm Juan Carlos Bagnell, aka Some Gadget Guy, and I'll catch you all on the next video.